Rob Woelfel may be the most successful 505 crew currently in the class. You won a world championship with Mike Holt. You've won European championships, North American championships, etc. First and foremost, why don't you tell us your background in the 505? How'd you get into the class? How long ago, etc.?
I started sailing about 17 years ago with a guy named Bailey White, and he took me out on San Francisco Bay in the 505 one day, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
And from the minute I got out on that wire and we were blasting upwind toward the Golden Gate, I knew that keelboats were out and that sailing the 505 was in.
Well, I was just going to ask you, what had your sailing been prior to that? Mostly keelboat racing?
Yeah, all keelboat racing.
Okay.
All keelboat racing. In fact, I had no dinghy racing experience. I had dinghy sailing experience, but basically no dinghy racing experience.
Right.
I was sailing and racing keelboats 4 or 5 days a week. I taught at the best sailing school in the country, Olympic Circle Sailing Center. And then as soon as I jumped in the 5.0, all the keelboating went by the wayside.
And how long ago was that?
That was about 17 years ago.
Okay.
Give or take.
So now, during your time in the class, you sailed with a variety of skippers. Kind of tell me, how does that work? You guys, I mean, you kind of bounce around a little bit. I've noticed when I look at results that skippers pair with different crews and then they move on. How does that work in your mind?
The single best thing for my 505 sailing career has been the fact that I've had the opportunity to sail with the best skippers in the fleet. Whether it's Mike Martin, Mike Holt, Howard Hamlin, Tyler Moore, and a whole lot of others, frankly. And what I've been able to do is fill in for a lot of these guys years ago when they needed crew, and I learned from them, and I learned a little bit from each skipper and just built on that. And that really led to my success that really sort of started taking off in about 2012.
I think one thing that's unique about the 505, in my mind, and I've been covering sailing for a long time, it's the one class where the crew is every bit as important as the skipper. It is a true teamwork. There's other dinghy classes where the skipper is a little more important with what he's doing and the crew is just kind of there. But talk a little bit about why the 505 crew is so important in this class.
It is the fundamental opposite of what you'll do on a keelboat. Okay?
Right.
Rather than having one job, you're going to have all the responsibilities for the front of the boat. I trim the jib, I trim the spinnaker, I hoist the spinnaker, I douse the spinnaker, I launch the spinnaker poles, I retrieve the spinnaker poles, and I do a variety of other things. So
well, you'd call tactics too, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. With most skippers, that's sort of tactics by committee. Especially with guys like Tyler Moore that are so experienced, they can just look around the course and have a real good idea where to go. Guys like Mike Holt can do that also.
Right.
So yeah, sailing a 505 is never boring. You're not going to sit there with the job, trim the vang today from the rail. You're going to have your hands full. It's going to be good, exciting sailing all the time, and that's one of the things I love about it.
Well, I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing this is a very demanding boat, particularly for the crew. He's out on the wire in heavy air. It can be, you got to stay in shape. What do you do to try to keep yourself in condition? Because you can't sail all the time. You're not conditioning just through sailing. What do you do to try to prepare yourself for a world championship like this, Rob?
One, I try to sail as much as I can. Sailing the boat's hugely important. You have to, there's no way to train the muscles you're going to use out there effectively without a lot of sailing in this boat. You're going to use a lot of different small muscles that you're not really going to be able to train that well in the gym necessarity.
Okay.
So I try to sail a lot. I try to sail as many big championships as I can every year.
Okay.
And I also do a lot of running, a lot of cycling, some weightlifting. And I also ski 60, 65 days a year.
Oh, well,
so
that helps,
I'm
right.
an athletic guy all around, and that's necessary.